Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to this stream of Stellaris. This is continuing the very brief game which I had up on YouTube, because I needed to get something up before the embargo went. And yeah, we're going to just continue with that basically straight on, and this will be then uploaded to YouTube as a continuation of that. We are playing as the Vikings. They were actually called the Vikings, but then all the messages came up saying the Vikings, doing blah 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 blah. So I got off the, and we are now just the Vikings. I'm trying to remember exactly what's happening here. So today I've been doing only Stellaris. I just finished a 6-hour stream with Ben Magnus and Roach, which should also get uploaded to YouTube soon, probably starting tomorrow. I'll need to have a word with them exactly what the plan is, which is really good. But my voice is now feeling a rather hoarse, so if I last the full 4 hours here, I'm not entirely sure, but I'll certainly go as long as I feel comfortable doing so. I do have a new cup of Lemzip plus another whole pot of tea, so I'm as well equipped as I'm going to be. Although I've been non-stop coughing since stopping streaming 2 hours ago, so we'll see. Right. What the hell were we doing? I have no idea. We've got our fleet, mostly corvettes. We can start using the fleet manager, which is something that we started playing with in the multiplayer game. I mean, the benefit here is I can start actually talking to you guys more directly about what's different. If you want to see anything, particularly how it works, what's new, let me know. I can be rather more interactive now, so that's all going to be good. Right, now explain everything in this expansion, even though you've read all the developer diaries and patch notes. Well, you got to ask me the questions. I can't just say blah 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 blah. Well, I can. We'll get there as we go through it. Right, so I am still, I think, expanding my borders. We are generating a bit of influence, though it is slower actually than the other game. We've got colonies on the way. I think I'm just going to go ahead and unpause it and see what happens.
Ship upgrades applied.
So we are apparently upgrading our ships. The other thing I can do is fleet manager. I can get rid of the Pyrrhic class completely. As soon as I remember how. Wreckage of what must have been a major First League naval base has been detected in orbit around Kazit 4. We know the League maintained a massive fleet called the Grand Navy to combat piracy and safeguard member nations from external aggressors. This particular outpost appears to have provided berthing for at least for one of their Rimworld patrol fleets. Cool, so we're going to get you... How do I... retrofit. I just want you retrofitted into that. Perfect. Now I select you and I just go upgrade fleet, and you should just retrofit everything. That's switching it for another. Alright, good. So yes, we are now all little go-kart classes, which means that they will get upgraded as and when I upgrade the little go-karts. And my system has more shields, but everything else the same. Cool. Onwards. We've got 3 science ships, 2 construction ships. We'll probably need some more construction ships going forwards, but these guys are being all kept busy. So I think we're all good there. We are losing energy, which is slightly concerning. How are we doing for the surface upgrades? Stuff is happening. Stuff is definitely happening. How strong are these guys looking right now? Fleets are about the same strength, but I'd really need to ramp up my fleet strength before I can do any of that. What elements of Stellaris are being changed in big ways? A lot. Like, Stellaris is actually, or Paradox has done something which you almost never see large developers doing, and that's completely changing core mechanics and like the base rules of a game. First of all, they've stripped out 2 of the FTLs, so you can only go hyperlane. So you have to use hyperlane now. There are no other options. That is probably the biggest change. Another big one is that you can't just send ships out to explore. The only unit that can explore are science ships, hence there are more of them being built. And this is kind of nice, because it means that you have to build more civilian ships now, so that's pretty good. How are the defense station ship construction yards? They're cool. I actually really like how the fortresses and the stations work. So basically, every system that you want to take over, you now have to build an outpost at. So, for example, Nunus here, Waldegun, Dastigmon, those all have outposts. Then you can upgrade those outposts like we've done in Agamathora. I think. Have we actually upgraded this one? I'm not sure we have. No, I don't think we have. We haven't actually upgraded any. Yes, we have. Because we're at one out of... No, the one is our home base. So you can upgrade the outpost to become an actual station, at which point it will look like this. And you can start adding modules which allow you to get shipyards, which is how you build ships. You can have more than one shipyard module on a station, so you can build ships in parallel, and each one also gives other construction or other shipyards a speed bonus. Apparently, that's what Roach was saying, though I'm not seeing any stats that actually support that. Or you can just add more weaponry to it, an anchorage which increases your naval capacity, trading hubs so you can get energy credits from it, and I think that's what we have done. Apparently not. I feel like we got further than this.
Evasive maneuvers.
Oh no, I'm thinking of the test game. Oh, don't tell me that's the Wraith. It's not a Wraith. It's just a random space amoeba. Are we just trying to run away from that? I think we are. So we know that Gemma here is hostile, so our ships will now try to avoid it. Thankfully it was not a Wraith. Those things are nasty. Do we want to try and nab that? We need a science ship to go and check it. Of course we do. Or we could make our way to Drumcast. We can't because we don't have the influence, so I'm going to say go ahead and build the mining station here. More guns!
We have detected an anomaly.
There are 2 new traits, traditional and quarrelsome. Yes, I meant to check to see exactly what was involved with those, but I don't think I can now. Trying to think there's an easy way of doing that. Don't think there is. Are they the ones that affect your unity production? Is that what it does? I'm not sure. Does the game have a time limit, or is it like world domination? World domination. Although it does have some late game events called crises, which can really change things up. So it essentially goes on until one person has taken over the galaxy, or you can win the crisis and win that way. Unity output, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, cool. The other thing which you can do with stations, which I kind of like, is you can build platforms. So platforms used to just be built anywhere in previous versions. They've stripped all of that, and platforms are now specifically associated with stations, and they will quite dramatically increase the combat strength of stations. So stations will grow in combat power as the game goes on, which means that they're not just rendered obsolete about an hour into the game. They're actually useful throughout. And the way that wars work, I mean, I only fought one very, very brief one, is there's a bit of a time limit for the aggressor as war exhaustion grows for both sides, which means that stations used properly can really delay your opponent and mean that they have very, very limited conquests in attack. So it's going to be interesting to see just how much wars are changed, to see if they're too defensive now, which they might be. I'm not sure. Right, construction ship is done. I could really do with more energy. That has a lot of energy in it. I think I need to try and grab that system, so I'm going to move there. In fact, we're just going to say, go ahead and build a start outpost there. We can get the energy. That would be delicious. In fact, I am losing energy right now because I am trying to settle two planets. So, less of a problem than I initially thought, but at least going to here, we are one step closer to cutting these guys off. We have a very open border with them right now, which I'm not too happy about. We are like super aggressive, so we're going to make that work in our favor, but it is something to consider. Hey, Hayate. What kind of nation am I playing now in this nation, in this game? Judging by the Vikings, have a guess. Basically, the idea here is this is one of the new civics called the Barbaric Despoilers. Cannot form defensive pacts, cannot do migration treaties, cannot guarantee independence, and cannot join a federation. However, you do have the Despoliation Casus Belli on all neighbouring empires, which basically lets you raid them, and as you raid them, you steal their population. So if we declared war on these guys, we could attack Jik and start stealing their population people and bringing them over to our nation as slaves.
Anomalous readings.
I guess it's the trader, since he called himself the Vikings. I mean, for those that are a bit too scary, we could trade with, but for those less scary, we can raid them. That's how it works, right? Okay, so this is another construction ship. I mean, honestly, I'm just going to continue building these items until the colonies are done. We should have enough money to tide us over until that point. I don't think I would really want to build anything else.
Research concluded.
Friendly, peace-loving pacifists. Yeah. Aha! Monthly Unity +5. That's going to be good. League Science Base. A surface scan of Isius 4 has identified the remnants of an ancient installation on the planet's surface. Most of the facility was wiped out in a massive explosion some 2 million years ago, but a few outlying buildings more or less survived the blast. All evidence discovered so far points towards this having been some kind of research base built by the First League.
Situation log has
Cool.
been updated.
I'm going to take growth speed so that we can get more people more fast. And one other thing which I discovered in the multiplayer game is land battles are freaking hard now. Like, you probably need to outnumber your enemy 4 to 1, 5 to 1, something like that, in order to beat them. Because you can't just shell a planet anymore to reduce the combat strength, which I was doing in the previous game, and apparently that was having virtually no effect. Although, actually, what I should do is take a look at the bombardment policies right now. So we have indiscriminate, full use of orbital weaponry with no regards to life on the surface. Cool. Or you can do selective, which means only attacking military targets, but I guess you do less damage that way. My goodness, my nose is itchy. Ugh, why? Right, hopefully that's better. Onwards! So all the ships are still busy. I mean, this is still super early in the game. I believe that this starts in 2200. It's now 2210, so we've gone barely 10 years. And more things are happening. Where the hell are you going? Alright, I need to check on what my science ships are doing. You're doing normal things. Good. You're doing normal things. You're doing completely crazy what the hell are you up to things. Let's send you over here instead, shall we? That would seem to be rather more intelligent use of your time. Would I recommend Stellaris when 2.0 and Apocalypse are released? Not allowed to say yet. Because this is still under... because this is a preview copy, I am not allowed to say whether I actually like it or not until the game is released in 3 days. But instead, I will leave a simple hand gesture about what I'm feeling right now. I didn't see that. It wasn't me. Alright, so still developing that. Ah, we have some energy here we could develop. Also, we have a special project. It does not disappear. Okay, we can just leave that. I believe that we were going down the discovery path. We are indeed. Excellent. I think I'm just going to bump this up to fastest, as we are basically just waiting for things to finish right now.
Anomalous readings registered.
Continue. Briefly detected some unusual energy readings. Go for it. Just do all the things.
System survey concluded.
Calling Stockholm right now. I'm sorry. Right, so I can get the Planetary Survey Corps, which is actually one of my favourite technologies. Gain research points equal to 1/10 of our monthly gain when surveying planets. Basically, for every 10 planets that we survey, we get a month of free technology. That's quite a lot of technology in the long run. And my goodness, that's a lot of stuff. Unexplored natural wormhole. 10 minerals. 6 physics. That's a lot of science and stuff. I'm going to have to see if I can nab that. So we need to try and take Journast soon. This is going to be a messy game compared to the multiplayer one. a lot less clear options where to put the fortresses and things.
Concluded.
Research is done. Excellent. That gives us even more minerals. I think I want engineering facilities, although the Corvette hull points would be good too. You know what? Let's go for the Corvette hull points. Need to think a bit more military. We are not doing that one just yet. You are building your thing. You are building up Cran. I think I'm going to say finish what you're doing, and then I'm going to move you over to John Ast. And we're going to try and get a cut off here. Maybe getting to here, and then that should be pretty secure. Encounter in Brannock for more hostile aliens. Are those aliens that I can now research? They are. Go ahead and do that.
Completed.
Because apparently you now get influence when you research the aliens. Birth of space piracy. A large group of faithless criminals from Mordred have illegally converted a number of civilian starships into weapons of war. Operating on the fringes of our space, these heretics have started calling themselves the Fallen Stars, and are responsible for several attacks against civilian shipping lanes. Their profane activities must not be allowed to continue. Alright, so I need to keep an eye out to see exactly where these guys are going to appear from. I do have a couple of warships ready, though I kind of suspect I'm going to need some more. We have quite a few minerals stored up already, so we're just going to grab another, say, 3 corvettes. That should suffice.
We have detected hostiles.
And there they are, in Dastamon. So we are going to head over to Dastamon to intercept. They will very likely go and attack our outpost here, which will fight back. It does have some guns of its own. They probably won't destroy it by the time before my fleet arrives. So this is one of the nice things, is you have defenses everywhere. This is a pathetic defense, by the way. Like, outposts on their own will not hold up later on, but it should be enough for the very early game. Power plant, because if remember, you can upgrade them stations, and stations will hold up. I would like physics lab 1, or auto. Actually, no, hang on. I would actually like this one, because survey speed plus 25% means that I'm surveying more planets, which means I'm gaining more technology. Better. Hey James, glad you were able to drop in. Nice one. Do I know which mod actually had civilian ships flying between different planets? Nope. I haven't actually played this game with any mods whatsoever. You guys on the way? You are. Magnificent. So you can see here the orange bar there, that's the armor. So they've burnt through the shield, which is the blue line. Orange line is about halfway. My fleet's on its way. And we are already stronger, plus they're on half armor already. So we should win this fight fairly easily. We have an admiral, so do they. We'll get a little bit of experience, plus they are still fighting the defensive structure. So here we go. First space battle. Pew 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 pew. Void clouds, an investigation into peculiar clusters of debris and space dust, has revealed surprising results. It is a particle cloud bustling with a powerful charge of unknown origin that has no business exhibiting simple reflex actions, let alone movements with purpose. And yet it does. Actually, what we should do is probably have this actually up so you can see the damage being done. So there is now a third line, again, armor, and then the shields. So they've almost destroyed one of my corvettes, but it has just run away. So one of our corvettes has just GTFO'd, and the other 3 are continuing. So this is the retreat mechanic, which basically means that even if you lose a battle, you don't lose your entire sodding fleet, which counted against me a couple of times in the in the war I fought, actually, because they were having an easier time repairing than I was. Although there is one repair thing which is a little bit weird. Essentially, when you attack a system which has a space station, you conquer it. So you attack the system, you take the space station, it is now yours. You can then use their space station to repair your fleets, which means that being on the offensive is perhaps a little bit easier than it otherwise could be. But if you play the hit and run well, then you should be able to take stuff off of them. Alright, so first battle is ours. We did not lose any ships thanks to that ship getting the hell out of there, and they lost 3 of their 4. I'm going to tell you guys to group up. I'm going to grab one of my science ships, who is hopefully not too far away. You'll do. Ooh. Alpine World. I can settle that. Might want to. And there's a merchant guild present. Interesting. So I'm going to tell you to go ahead and research that. It's a timed project, so we'll want to do that rather snappish. And we have another colony. Huzzah! Oh, the other thing I was going to start doing, now that I'm not quite so pressed for time as I was when I was first recording this, because I had literally an hour to record an hour of footage, and I wanted to get as much out of there as possible, I can start naming stuff. So we'll call this Vic. And the first person is going to be Shocking. So this planet is going to be known as Shocking Prime. As is the world. Like so. Boom. Hey, Ben! 20 bits for the Vikings. Lovely, thank you. I read there's a KFC crisis in the UK. No chicken to be found. I've not heard of it. Right, so that's that system. I'm not changing Mordred because it's a cool name. I do need to name the leaders, though. Let's go ahead and do that. So we have this dude here. This can be... Start from the bottom. Call you Charles. And then this dude. Who can be Itzbok. And then you, who's going to be Arakor. No, Arachnos. And then we're going to have this dude, who's going to be Arakor. This is Stellaris, so there should be quite a few names to go around. Lionhearted can be the Admiral. And then you can be Tsar Oslo, the scientist. And do we have any more? Yes, we do. You can be 94th minute. And you can be Namanda. And finally, the one who got lucky is going to be Mulgin, who's going to be this fleet. And you, except for the planets, are the most likely to stick around for the longest. I might also start naming star bases, because star bases tend to be fairly important and get mentioned a lot. I read that too, over 600 KFCs closed. I had not heard that. Can I name one McNugget? Are you a subscriber? You are. Okay, I'll name one McNugget for you. Who's going to get called McNugget? I mean, I've just named everyone. Remind me when I name something. In fact, I'll rename this. To McNugget. In honor of KFC? Yes, I know that's not KFC. And then that was Mean Wolf. Need to find you on my Twitch list. This is Stellaris Vic. And you are Mean Wolf. Where are you? This list is getting quite long. Mean Wolf, I know you're here somewhere. Where you should be. There you are. Cool, done. Can I name a fleet Bob's Boats? That will definitely need to wait until we have a second fleet, which will be a while. Remind me when that happens. Right, let's go back up to fast speed, because we don't need to be hanging around. Mean Wolf ate all the chicken in the UK. Roger Fugandel, yeah, I know. I do remember who you are, Mean Wolf. I just needed to check my lists. I have something I... How many subscribers am I up to now? More than I initially thought. 81 of you. Which is crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Right, so I definitely need to keep an eye on how strong they are. I think we've already closed borders mutually. Yes, we have. So we don't like each other. That's definitely true. I have a construction ship who is not doing anything. I really need you to make me some money. So go ahead and start building up the energy spots. All of them. Lovely. And the science ship. You are not seeking out new stuff because there are bad guys everywhere and I can't see how strong they are. That's really annoying. I kind of suspect that with that strength it's not going to be enough. Let's have you go and dock up so that we're not paying your maintenance costs so much. I know I still have a colony, which is fine. And I don't have automated exploration yet, which would be kind of useful. Ah, haven't actually surveyed these. So go ahead and start doing that. That'll keep you busy for a time. Neighbour can only live on Gaia worlds. Really? Was that a Gaia world? Oh, it was. 25 size, yeah. Yeah. And that means I can steal a Gaia world from them. Sweet. The white square is like a fort. This thing is, yes. So basically you have... There are actually about 5 levels, but to keep it simple, there are 2 levels of fortification. You have outposts, which are required to claim space. So for example, Takonga, Dastamon, Numus, those are all outposts, and those you build with a construction ship. It will cost you influence and a couple of minerals, mostly influence though, that's kind of the limiting factor there. And that allows you to capture and claim space. You can then upgrade those outposts into stations, which is what I've got here at Mordred. You can see that symbol there. Those actually are just planets. But basically, once they are stations, then you can start adding weapons and modules and fortifications and trading modules, shipyards. That's an important one. Onto those. So these guys have not actually fortified their space at all. They've got the starting station and that's it. While I have got 3 planets now taken. Going to be getting a 4th soon. Although that's going to be putting me close to my controlled systems penalty. Actually, right, because one's still being colonized. I was like, why is that only 2 or 3? That should be 3 or 3.